I look forward to being the mayor for every person that calls this city home. That includes the Jewish New Yorkers that voted for our campaign and those that didn't. My responsibility is to all 8.5 million New Yorkers, and we chose this location as a reflection of the borough that I serve and the fact that we are proud to be known as the world's borough. And for far too long, that embrace of so much of what makes New York City special, so much of what makes it the place that we are proud to call it our home, it has been missing in our leaders. Excited more, frankly, to deliver on an agenda of affordability alongside these incredible co-chairs for New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs.
Right here, sorry, we're going to go to Josie right here.
Yeah. I look at these 4 incredible co-chairs of our transition team, and what I see are those who have had their careers defined by an excellence that we want to characterize the very city hall that we are looking to build. These will be the leaders of our transition, and also this transition will expand and extend beyond any one specific set of issue areas. So the topics of education and public safety continue to be of immense importance. We continue to prepare for the delivery on those very issues alongside the others that concern New Yorkers, and that will be the work of the next 57 days. And just to your second question, I am willing to consider anyone to work in my city hall so long as they are committed to working for my administration and to delivering on an agenda to lower costs for New Yorkers in the most expensive city of the United States.
All right, we'll go to Sam over here.
Mayor-elect Mamdani, Sam Alcott from Democracy Now! I have 2 questions. One, what did New Yorkers know that you were asking from Mayor Adams during the transition for the next 2 months? And second, you were not going to be the mayor for the next 2 months, but for months now, ICE agents have been abducting immigrants at 46 Federal Plaza. What is your message to the ICE agents abducting immigrants?
My message to ICE agents and to everyone across this city is that everyone will be held to the same standard of the law. If you violate the law, you must be held accountable. And there is sadly a sense that is growing across this country that certain people are allowed to violate that law, whether they be the president or whether they be the agents themselves. And what New Yorkers are looking for is an era of consistency, an era of clarity, an era of conviction. And that is what we will deliver to them. And I am looking forward to having conversations with Mayor Adams and his administration about the work of the transition to ensure that the handover is a seamless one and that it is one that benefits the shared work we all have to deliver for the people who call the city home.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody's asking too. I've made my intention clear to retain Commissioner Tisch, and I look forward to having conversations with her on that very subject. Last night, I spent time with my wife, with close members of my team, as we watched the results come in. I spoke briefly with Curtis Sliwa, and then I headed to address the thousands of New Yorkers that were there, waiting to hear of what this new era of government will look like. And that is always my focus. Not on the candidates of this past election, but rather on the people that are so often left behind by our politics, and I look forward to serving them.
Yeah, Morgan, go ahead.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Doing well. How are you, Morgan?
Hanging in there. So just 2 quick questions. Mayor Eric Adams is announcing that he plans to offer former employees who were terminated for refusing the second COVID vaccine
The mayor is seemingly unsatisfied with a record of raising rents by more than 12% on more than 2 million New Yorkers, and has gone so far as to consider appointing someone to the Rent Guidelines Board who is known for being a star, I think, on a show called Selling New York. And in many ways, that's the description of what he wants to do over these next few months. I continue to believe in the importance of delivering relief for the 8.5 million people who love this city, who live in this city, but cannot afford to continue to be here. And last night I spoke of Wesley, an 1199 organizer that I met outside of Elmhurst Hospital less than a week ago. And as I asked him how long it took him to get to work, he told me 2 hours. I asked him, where were you coming from? He told me Pennsylvania. That, for many New Yorkers, is now the reality, where they have to live elsewhere because they can't afford to live in the place that they love. And that has to be our compass in guiding the work that we do to ensure that we can make this a city that is livable and make this a city that finally turns the page on an era of big money and small ideas.
Yeah, I'll go with Holly right here.
I am looking forward to having every member of my coalition being a part of our transition. The transition will be guided by the work that we need to do, and the coalition that brought me to this point has done an immense amount of work and has also been leading in the fight for dignity for working class New Yorkers. Well, first I just have to say I've spent many days in my youth watching the transfer window close, final hours on Sky News, so it's a pleasure to have you here. Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan. I have to be honest, when you said you were from Sky News, I just got very excited. Could you repeat the question one more time? I think the lesson for the president is that it's not enough to diagnose the crisis in working class Americans' lives. You have to deliver on addressing that crisis. This is a president who ran a campaign on the promise of cheaper groceries, and now, as was said by one of our co-chairs, has gone so far as to cut SNAP benefits for close to 2 million New Yorkers. Someone who is literally making it harder to afford those same groceries whose price he was decrying not that long ago. And what scares Republicans across the country is the fact that we will actually deliver on this agenda. And the contrast is something that they cannot bear to witness. And I try to keep my focus similar to that cover on the New Yorker where the world ends at New Jersey, and thinking about what this means for our city instead of for our nation. And I will tell you that for our city, what left me with such great hope last night were the stories from so many New Yorkers who had never voted before, who had lost hope in politics years ago. And to stand here before you, having received over 1 million votes in an election that saw turnout the likes of which we haven't seen since 1969, it shows that politics, once again, is offering more than just a settling for the crumbs that are not able to meet the needs of so many families across the city. We are finally offering a vision that can meet the scale of the crisis in working class New Yorkers' lives. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please.